Destroyed at least 500 structures. President Trump has declared a state of emergency for the area. There are conflicting accounts as to what caused a fire in Greece this week, which killed 85 people. Arson investigators say the fire started because of negligence. Earlier this week, government officials said it was arson. A funeral today in Indiana for 5 of the 9 members of the Coleman family who died when an amphibious duck boat sank last week in a Missouri lake.
How is a family going to be able to deal with such an horrific, traumatic crisis? But what I do know about this family, they got a Jesus connection.
Pastor A. Thomas Hill. The National Transportation Safety Board says recordings of radio transmissions indicate that the weather turned dangerous after the boat entered the water. Protecting Medicare from budget cuts. That's the theme of the Democratic Party's weekly media address.
Medicare, along with Social Security, allows Americans to work hard and to contribute to our nation, knowing that, in turn, their nation won't abandon them in their retirement.
Florida Representative Stephanie Murphy. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Are you hiring, posting your position to job sites and waiting for the right people to see it? ZipRecruiter knew there was a smarter way, so they built a platform that finds the right job candidates for you. ZipRecruiter learns what you're looking for, identifies people with the right experience, and invites them to apply to your job. These invitations have revolutionized how you find your next hire. In fact, 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. And ZipRecruiter doesn't stop there. They even spotlight the strongest applications you receive so you never miss a great match. The right candidates are out there. ZipRecruiter is how you find them. Businesses of all sizes trust ZipRecruiter for their hiring needs. Right now, our listeners can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/newscast. That's ZipRecruiter.com/newscast. ZipRecruiter.com/newscast. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
The investigation continues into a shooting in South Texas yesterday, which left 5 people dead. Fox's Carmen Roberts with more.
Police responding to a shooting at a nursing home near Corpus Christi, Texas, say when they arrived, they found 2 men and a woman dead. Family members later urged Robstown police to check a victim's nearby home. That's where police discovered 2 more men also dead. Police say the shootings appear to be linked, but no word what sparked the killings. The gunman is among the dead. Carmen Roberts, Fox News.
President Trump will posthumously award the Medal of Honor to the family of a fallen member of the U.S. Air Force for his extraordinary heroism in Afghanistan. Fox's Jennifer Griffin reports from the Pentagon.
Tech Sergeant John Chapman was attached to a team of Navy SEALs whose Chinook helicopter was ambushed on a snowy mountaintop, at first thought to be dead after an ambush on Takargar Mountain shortly after U.S. forces invaded Afghanistan after 9/11. Chapman was left behind. Subsequent drone footage shows that he survived, and he fought valiantly alone against the enemy, even trying to provide cover for a rescue team returning to find the missing. The Medal of Honor is the nation's most prestigious military decoration. It is awarded by the president in the name of Congress for bravery. At the Pentagon, Jennifer Griffin, Fox News.
A word of caution for President Trump, who was basking in yesterday's strong GDP number with growth over 4%. Former Obama administration chief economic advisor Austin Goolsbee says the number is good, but what goes up always comes down.
I used to always tell President Obama, don't get out and take credit for one big number, because usually you have reversion to the mean. If you get a big number, you get a small number.
Goolsbee speaking on Computer Live on the Fox News Channel. I'm Roger Stern, Fox News Radio.
Live from the Center Right Radio Studios in Tempe, Arizona, the Chips and Salsa Show. Conservative conversation, picoso, not mocoso, with Don Jorge Ortiz and Alicia Lara. George, former California Democrat union man turned legislative GOP chairman.
And Alice, former New Mexico Democrat turned legislative GOP district state committee woman.
Together, they are your Chips and Salsa Show hosts.
Get your guac on now with George Ortiz and Alice Lara.
We intend to get our guac on now. I'm Alice Lotta here on the Chips and Salsa Show, Saturday edition with my partner in radio crime. Who are you?
Don Jorge Alacran.
You have a good Saturday? You've been busy today, right?
Yeah, I was at class with the county recorder's office.
Boring or exciting?
Well, some parts were exciting, some parts were boring. It's like the same old thing.
You don't have any good scoops for us or anything? What happened?
Be ready for the elections. It's they have the new system and the old system, because the county supervisors insisted they use on the election day about 40 or no, more like 80 or 100 some odd centers are going to have the old style with the e-poll, whereas the new kiosk machines are going to be used at maybe 40 different polling places. But the county supervisors insisted that they keep the old system for the general election, not for the primary, but general election. I'll be working the primary and general. I'll be working on election day.
Primary.
They'll have the old system and the new system.
Right.
The general is the same thing, but I'll be working 21 days into the election for early ballot. Mm-hmm. And
you're going to be busy, and that's the primary is August 28th.
August the 28th.
Early ballots come out soon. July 30th is
starting
the deadline
Monday,
to register.
or starting Wednesday.
Starting Wednesday?
The center's open. I'll be working in the one here in
so that's
Mesa.
August 1st. So July 30th, which is Monday, that's the deadline. So if you still, for some crazy reason, you haven't registered to vote, register to vote. And of course, register Republican. Or if you want independent, and choose a Republican ballot when you go to primary. And that's kind of what we're all about. If this is the first time you've ever listened to Chips and Salsa Show, George and I are here every Saturday at 4 p.m. We broadcast live out of Tempe. And by the way, kudos to our technical director, Julian Allison, taking care of us. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And we wanted to give a voice to Latino Republicans, because a lot of people think, just like the young people we're going to talk today, I'll tell you about that in a few minutes, that if you are Latino, if you are a minority, if you're a young person, well, you know what, you're probably not Republican, you have to be a Democrat. Well, people still believe that, and that's not true. So we're here to break that myth. In a few minutes, we are going to be talking to College Republicans United. They go by crew. I'm going to just introduce them now, and we'll bring them on later to talk more to them. But College Republicans United, we were supposed to have their president, Rick Thomas, here. But he's sicky-poo. If he sent me an x-ray. That guy, man, I'm glad he didn't come in. He needs to get well. But we have with us, we have Chase Smith here, who is a member.
Yeah.
And we have, hey there, and we have Kevin DeKuyper. Did I say that right?
Yes, DeKuyper.
Okay, good. He's also a member, a co-founder, actually, of College Republicans United. And also Macy Wright is here.
Hi there.
Hey there, okay. And she's kind of quiet, but that's okay. We told her she can chime in also. And we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. They're going to tell us about what their group's about and their mission, college debt, headlines, the cocotazo, the whole enchilada. So you got to stay tuned. But I want to get some housekeeping out of the way, George. We have a lot of announcements.
Housekeeping.
Right? Housekeeping, yeah, okay. One of the first things I want to tell you is this just happened a few days ago, but I belong to Central Republican Women of Phoenix. We meet every first Thursday of the month, and what we got, this is a big get. You know how Dr. Kelly Ward has been calling for a debate, a forum, something, right, with her candidates? Well, the other two candidates. Well, we finally secured on Thursday at our club, Dr. Kelly Ward will be there, as well as Sheriff Joe Arpaio. McSally, Congresswoman Martha McSally could not make it. She's not available. But the other two candidates will be there, and we're going to have a forum. So I want to invite all Republicans. You can come. That's going to be this, let's see, August 2nd, which is Thursday evening, 5:30 p.m. is our social hour. George, you're coming, right? I hope.
I'll try.
Oh,
I have to come from Mesa now.
Oh, it's kind of far. Well, if you can't make it right at 5:30, that's a social hour. We start the meeting about 6:15. We've got some other candidates speaking, like Senator Kate Brophy McGee is going to speak. Also, Lisa Atkins with the Water Board is going to be there.
I'll sneak in.
You'll sneak there, yeah. And a lot of candidates. You know, it's election year, so we have a lot of candidates. All of a sudden, they pop in. So it's a good place to be. It's $20 if you want to go and be there for the whole time. And we get really hearty appetizers at Enchiladas. They're good. So it's Mexican foods. We usually have like chimichangas and stuff, and some fruit and some vegetables. So it's worth your while. I'm trying to get right now another moderator, but I may have to end up moderating the debate. And the only reason is, I'll be totally honest with everybody, I am a Kelly Ward supporter. I've got her little pin on. And I thought it'd be a little bit more fair if somebody who didn't have a candidate would moderate the debate. But in any event, it's going to be very simple. It's questions from the audience. But I would love anybody out there who's interested, please just email reservations@crwop.org. That's reservations@crwop.org to make a confirmation, because we need to give them a number of how many people are going to be there. So I hope you can make it. George, what else we got going? Oh, you go ahead.
No, if I make it earlier, I'll help you moderate it.
Okay.
I'm getting comfortable in front of a mic.
Getting comfortable in front of a mic? That may not be a bad idea. A bad idea. It might be a mad idea. I don't know. But I also want to let people know. Did anybody here live in the Phoenix area? You don't live in Phoenix, huh? You're actually in Tolleson.
The boundary line
Barely.
between Tolleson and Phoenix.
Yeah. Well, if you live in Phoenix and you vote in Phoenix, and you haven't signed the petition for Moses Sanchez, he's running for mayor. He's a fantastic candidate. College Republicans, have you met him yet?
Absolutely.
Okay, he's awesome. Isn't he great? Mm-hmm. He's great. I've got his shirt on today. And he is still out there collecting signatures. I believe that he's collected what he needs, but he wants to like double that amount. So if you can help him out, if you can collect signatures or guide somebody that direction, please do, because what I found out, this is really interesting, George, maybe you know this, the city actually checks each and every one of those signatures. Unlike if you go for another office and you hand in your 10,000 signatures, whatever, they just take a sampling and do this. So it's really crucial that he get plenty of signatures.
Yeah, I was gonna. Well, they're still debating whether I check signatures for the county recorder's office. Oh. It's a full-time job, but they're still vetting me out.
Oh, so you might do that. Yeah, and you do a sample of it. Yeah. It's smart. If you're a candidate, it's smart if you can to go down there and make sure that those are valid signatures, because they can throw them out. I understand, if something's wrong. Sometimes people don't fill them out right.
And they train you pretty good. And they train you pretty good on signatures, by what I understand. It's an FBI training of how you can distinguish the signatures. And you have the signature on the computer that they have, mm-hmm. and then the signature that's on the form. Mm-hmm. And you just compare the two, and you're supposed to be able to recognize there's certain type of signature recognitions that you can pick up.
Okay, and you brought up. I have to ask these young people here, because I am fanatical about cursive writing. Do all of you know how to write in cursive?
Sure do.
Of course.
We're all taught cursive.
I'm so proud of you. So you all have your own individual signature, right?
Of course.
Yes.
Because I get concerned now in Arizona. You have to. It's mandatory. They have to teach you cursive writing. But I think if you didn't really know how to do that, how do you come up with your own individual signature? You know?
I actually have a story about that.
Do you?
So originally, when I was signing up to vote, I wrote my full name, like first, middle initials, and last. And, I have a really distinct handwriting style. Everyone thinks it's calligraphy. But then I turned in a ballot, and I only did the first and last name, and it looked, like the same handwriting, but I actually got a call. And they were like, yeah, we would like to confirm that this is your signature because it doesn't match.
Well, they did check it then.
Yeah,
Good
they definitely
for them.
check them.
Well, that's interesting. It's interesting that you have good handwriting, because usually guys tend to not have such elaborate or beautiful handwriting. Did you go to Catholic school?
No, it was it was just so much time spent writing cursive, it kind of moved over into my print.
Oh, that is a good story. Well, I'm glad to know that. That's awesome. I also want to mention Augie Bartney, our good friend Augie Bartney, he's hosted this show before. I told him if he had a chance to come by and drop in and give us a report. Augie is running for the Maricopa County Community College District number 5. And he currently got appointed because that guy had to step down, Alfredo Gutierrez. So now he's out there in this heat collecting signatures. If you live in District 5, please help out my buddy Augie. And once he collects everything, he's also trying to collect over and above the number. And those are all due, I think, August 8th. And his election will be actually in November, so he doesn't have a primary. And George, there's another Republican running, in fairness, because we're promoting Republicanism here. John Wilson, I believe, is also collecting signatures to run. And he's more, he lives, I think, out in your area, closer to your area.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know him? Yeah, okay. All right, good deal. And then, let's see, so help out, it's Augie P. Bartning, if you find him on Facebook, you can do that. And then I have one more announcement, and that's our 4 lanes, no trains. if you guys have been following that, I live in the South Mountain area, South Phoenix, and they're trying to put the light rail down there. The bummer is that when they do that, they're only going to leave one lane of traffic in each direction, which is not going to work very good down Central. And we don't want that. So we're kind of doing a fight, and you can go to Facebook, 4 lanes, no trains. My new buddy, my new friend, Celia Contreras, is kind of leading the charge on that. There's a lot of stuff going on, so I invite you to go there, 4 lanes, no trains. Maybe we can have Celia on pretty soon here to describe what's going on. But you know, this is a community thing, and what's cool about this, it's crossing all political lines, because like at the meetings, it's not only Republicans that are there. We have Republicans, Democrats, Independents, because they don't want that train down there with 1 lane, because it's going to do all kinds of horrible, terrible things. Did I hit all the announcements, George? Do you have any announcements? What about your
I'm using a straw on a strawless cup because California passed a law that you get up to 12 months in jail if you use a plastic straw. So in protest, I have a straw, just like Clint Eastwood. He has one on his ear, and he was drinking one in his drink, because he's protesting also. So you'll see a straw from now on until my protest ends.
I have a washable, reusable straw in my beautiful tumbler, which says Republican. You're right. It's craziness out there. Okay, George, let's see. I think we got all that out of the way. We got to thank Sonia Seeger, our producer, who takes care of us with the cocotazos and the whole enchiladas.
Secret Sonia.
And I think what we'll do now, if it's all right with you, is we'll go and start with our guests. What do you think?
I think it's just perfect.
Oh, I have one more thing to promote before I go to you, because I want to give you guys our full attention. On Monday, are you going to go to this? The new Dinesh D'Souza movie is going to come out.
I'm working at the stadium for the Cardinals until about almost 5. If I do get there, it'll be like half an hour late, because I got to come from the Cardinal Stadium all the way downtown, is where you guys are previewing that movie.
Yeah.
I'm coordinating my movements, you know.
Good for you. Well, it starts at 6 at the Arizona Center. It's the new Dinesh D'Souza movie.
So I have half an hour to make it.
And you can go online to get your tickets. The TARs are doing it. That's a teenage Arizona Republicans. I invited them to come, and you know, it was very last minute, so my voicemail too wasn't working, so I apologize to them, but I told them I'd give them a plug. I'm going to go, so if you go, text me so we can save you a seat. I think it's going to be a full house. All right.
So it's only $10.
It's only I think it's $12 because they have to pay a little fee online, but you know what? It'll be worth it. It really will be. And you get to be with a bunch of other Republicans, so how cool is that? That's what. All right, so now it's time to introduce College Republicans United, CRU, known as CREW. So let's go here to the mics, and I want you to say your name, introduce yourself, where you go to school, if you graduated, what you're majoring in, and then we'll talk about the organization. How's that?
Great. Well, I'm going to start out with me. I'm Kevin DeKuyper, and so I studied for finance and a minor in entrepreneurship at ASU. And so I spent 4 years with the College Republicans, and I took my experience from that group, and I decided to, with my friends, to create College Republicans United. And so we've been very busy in our work.
Great, and we'll hear about that in just a little bit. All right, and then we'll go over to Chase.
Yeah, so my name is Chase Smith. I recently joined College Republicans United just this year. It's my understanding you guys just started
in January
this year. Okay, yeah, so I wasn't that late to the party. Yeah,
but not the Republican Party.
Yeah. Yeah, so I go to ASU. I'm a computer science major, and for a long time I was looking for political clubs to join because, you know, it's something I'm interested in. And I just happened to find them, and it was perfect timing because, you know, they fit in with my ideas and my culture.
Good. And when do you graduate?
I graduate in 2020.
Oh, okay. All right. Good deal. Macy?
Hi, my name is Macy Wright, and I've recently joined last semester, kind of towards the end. I was kind of struggling politically about where I was leaning. I actually used to be Democratic for quite a while. I was registered as a Democrat, and then I started to make questions about, wow, like, this doesn't seem right. Or if I questioned, my friends would question me or belittle me because of something, especially the women would say something towards me saying I'm unwoman or I'm a gender traitor to females, and I didn't understand that. And I grew up in a really Republican household, so it was kind of hard for my parents to realize I was very Democratic, right? But as I started to grow up, I was like, I understand why they were so angry. I understand why they're right. I understand why they question things, and that it's okay to question. And the more I started to find answers to these questions and finding that, okay, well, I'm obviously not Democratic anymore. I'm more towards Republican. I want to feel comfortable talking about ideas without feeling belittled or put on the spotlight and saying that, no, you should be believing in something that I really don't believe in. So that's why I joined this group. And it just makes me feel really comfortable to be myself. It's kind of hard to be Republican in college. Just to say, it's really hard to stay Republican or become Republican in college because you're forced to believe in certain ideas. Teachers tell you certain ideas, and I just feel incredibly welcomed, and I feel like I can share my ideas without being patronized or belittled. So this is why I joined the group. I mean, I'm in health and wellness, so I'm more towards physical therapy. I'm more towards, maybe medical school in the future. And so it's kind of interesting. I just decided to kind of get more involved with politics, especially with the fact that a lot of people want universal health care. And I got to say that I want incentive in my life. I don't want to have the universal health care. And so I want to get my voice out and say, I want to earn what I work for. And that's why I became Republican and joined this group.
Very good. 3 strong Republicans. What do you think, George?
Yeah.
Conservatives? Great. We're so glad that you guys are here. And again, we're sorry Rick Thompson couldn't make it. Maybe another time, or Thomas. I said it wrong, didn't I? Rick Thomas couldn't make it, but maybe another time he can come. You guys can come back with him as well. Okay, so let's see. Let's go to Kevin. And Kevin, tell us what your group's mission is and what you're doing right now.
All right. I mean, there's numerous reasons why we started this group, but a major one is that free speech has been incredibly stifled in college. You have this phenomenon where it's not only the bastion of free speech, but people are being taken, away from their families to go to college, and they're living away from their family, and college becomes their new bubble. And so it's the professors, the teachers, the social environment of college that really shapes the individual. And as we know, it's incredible liberal bias at universities. And you would be surprised at all the astonishing things the university has done in order to stifle not just our free speech, but any category that doesn't fit the mob speech narrative is stifled. So we definitely want to bring in as many, naive or even intellectual and everything in between, and show them this is republicanism, this is this constitutional standard, and we really plan to bring big things to the university because we really need to think outside of the box as Republicans because the left is beating us at a social game.
Kevin, so you've graduated already, so
yes.
It's College Republicans United. So are you going to have to be a college attendee to be a member?
All right, so this is College Republicans United is going to be at each university, and we have our national group, which is called Republicans United. And so we plan on bringing our brand, our franchise, to as many universities that would be willing to accept us. And and it's not just for college Republicans, but also making a group for 18 and plus.
So like George and I could join your group?
Absolutely.
Members. And does it cost?
There's so much
senior discount?
There is so much to be revealed coming up in the following month, but yes, it will be a kind of free membership thing because we really care about grassroots initiative and bringing the ideas of the Constitution, the Founding Fathers, and family values, America, and really bring it into the university because these kids won't hear about it anywhere else.
How big is this group on your campus?
Our regular meetings are once a week, and we would attract around 30 members, and we're happy with it in a little bit because we started in January, but we have very big ambitions for bringing in at least 50 to each meeting, which is our nationwide room size. So we're only at ASU in the meantime, but we're doing everything possible to make it nationwide.
Awesome. Okay, so your mission, of course, is to educate and find more. How many Republicans do you think, if you had to guess percentage-wise, are at ASU in your age group? Let's say, I know that's kind of a hard stat, and here's what I think too, and tell me if I'm wrong, because I think still, like you addressed this, Macy, and I can address this a long time ago, being a Latino. You really didn't advertise that you were a conservative or Republican. You really didn't do that. And I have to think that maybe that's kind of an issue there where you guys are.
Definitely. I'm constantly still terrified to talk to people about my ideas because I'm just really afraid of kind of this mob mentality that I was talking to these two about, was that it just feels like they'll gang up on you, and you'll feel like kind of like, well, if you're not with us, you're against America, you're against everybody else. And I hate that mentality. It's just like, just because you don't agree with somebody doesn't give you the right to belittle them or put down their opinion or factual information, which definitely the left hates, is factual information. They cannot stand it. And I was actually very terrified for about, I would probably say about 2.5 years, because it took me that long to figure out who I was and to find a group like this. And a lot of people don't speak about it because they're afraid of just everybody ganging up on them, basically.
I think you've hit on something really good, and it's important groups like you exist, just like our Republican Women's Club, and we have the LD that we get together and organize, and other clubs, because it's good to know somebody else thinks like you and you can exchange ideas, and instead of just having like people like Maxine Waters out there trying to say, you know what, tell them they're not welcome here. And that's horrible. It's embarrassing to me that we have someone in Congress who actually would say that. So my question, if you had to guess, what do you think out there? What percentage do you think are Republicans out there?
1 out of 5, maybe.
1 out of 5?
What do you think?
I even would have said 10%. Not that 90% are Democratic, but even just that, a lot of people in our generation, just being young people, they don't think about politics very much. They're not very concerned about it. I mean, Trump has definitely made a lot more people politically polarized because they see him either as a threat or something really great, and it draws them into it. But
what do you think about Trump?
I think he's all right. I mean, a lot of people, they point out that he's, I don't know what word you would use, brash, the way he talks and the way he talks to people.
It's a good word for him.
But it's very much, I think it's good philosophy to be like that. I mean, if you're always hiding the things you think, then not only are people not going to get a good idea of you, and in the sense that they don't know you, but also if you just flat out say what you believe and then listen to the arguments, it's only going to make you a better person. There's no reason to hide what you believe, because you're only going to get better reasons for why you should either continue to think that way or think differently.
Because he was a businessman before he became a politician, and he doesn't act like a politician.
Well,
he just says it the way he says it, and he doesn't have lobbyists or special interests behind him that he has to please first before he utters something. Is that the way you guys feel?
Yeah, so, I mean, to me, politics was always just supposed to be for, the average person. Anyone could go apply for an office or, vote, spread the word of whatever they believe. And, I mean, that's why I joined this club, because, I'm not political science, I'm not anything related to sociology. But it's our duty as Americans to take care of our government, make sure it works for us.
Do you think the college education should be free?
See, that's hard for me to say because I like the free market. And I think, teachers are providing a service. They should be paid what they want to be paid, and I think colleges should compete. So
you're saying college students should pay their way?
Yeah.
Because there's a socialist in New York that says different.
It's a good capitalist. That's good capitalists, good Republicans. Okay, we're going to wrap it up for this segment. When we come back, we're going to call another member who's up in Flagstaff, Ian Logan, and he'll be on the air with us as well. We're going to talk about socialism. We're going to talk about student loan debt. It's going to be a good next half hour. And we'll also have the Prather Point. So don't go away. We'll be back with more of the Chips and Salsa Show here with Alice Zada and
Jorge
and Screw, College Republicans United. Stay with you.
Olivia from Washington.
Do any of you guys have an iPhone?
laid off and trying to keep our little kids from realizing that Mommy and Daddy haven't eaten in a while.
Roger, from California. I'm grateful we could afford our son's surgery. I'm nervous that now we can't really afford food.
Daniel from California. Choosing whether to pay the rent or pay to fix the car to get to work doesn't leave us with much at all. Now we can't even pay for meals.
Donna from Louisiana. The storm just hit, and we went from donating to the food bank to needing it.
Keisha from South Carolina. I've been skipping meals so my 2 kids can eat, but filling up on water doesn't really work.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Turn off the fake news and turn on Center Right Radio. Online now at centerright.live.
Today we decided to walk to school. The light counted. 15, 14,
41, 31, 13. We
took a left on Carroll Street. Danny's smart, but he gets distracted.
I
realized he forgot his homework. I hope he doesn't have another bad day at school.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. That's why there's Understood.org, a free resource for the parents of the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues. Go from misunderstanding to Understood.org. Brought to you by Understood and the Ad Council.
And it's a beautiful day here at the Search Engine and Digital Marketing Race in beautiful Tempe, Arizona. The horses lining up at the gate now, waiting for the bell. And they're off. It's just a two-way race today between your business brand and your relentless competition. Oh, but wait a minute. You've just hired Warhorse Agency for your digital marketing and are quickly taking the lead in your market. Well, hang on to your seat, though. Your competition started their own Google AdWords pay-per-click campaign and are trying to catch up to you now. Good for you, though. They have no idea what they're doing. But don't worry yet. Your digital marketing jockey at Warhorse Agency tirelessly regains the lead with a great viral Facebook ad as well as your own Google SEO and pay-per-click campaign ran by a Warhorse, true leading generating professional. Holy smokes, your business just got a major lead. You're on the first page of Google now, and as they approach the finish line, your business wins. Thanks, Warhorse Agency, for another smashing victory. Contact us today for your free digital marketing evaluation. Visit us at www.gowarhorse.com today.
You're listening to America's favorite political discussion on Center Right Radio.
And we are back. Oh my goodness, George, we're already halfway done to the show. We got lots to talk about, so please stay tuned. I'm Alice Lara with
Don Jorge, one of Hillary's famous deplorables.
Famous, you're getting so famous over there. Hardest working man in Arizona. Hey, want to let you know we're going to play the Prather Point first here, and then after that we'll get back to the College Republicans United Club, talking about all kinds of stuff here, and we also have Ian Logan who'll be on the line with us in just a moment. So now we go to our Fast and Furious whistleblower featured every week here, Jeff Prather with the Prather Point.
Jeff Prather here, ex-government insider, now living outside the box, speaking truth to power on the Chips and Salsa Show with this week's Prather Point. So, just got a letter back from President Trump. I had written him a while back telling him to watch out for DOJ and while he drained the swamp, and got a nice personal letter back about that. That is gratifying. Just also ran into someone else who also used to work for DA, and funny thing, they all say the same thing. She was the comptroller and was saying how the guy before had stolen $6 million and they had misappropriated $300 million. And everybody always says the same thing. They're a bunch of crooks. So that is interesting. But my important Prather point this week is that Trump in one fell swoop proved that he was standing hard against the Russians, that there is no collusion, that his tariff policy is working, and that there is therefore nothing really to the ridiculous Keystone Cop Mueller investigation. And what I'm talking about is I'm putting on my military diplomat, military attaché hat, which I was as well. And Trump just made a deal with the head of the European Union, and the most important part of that is with EU head Juncker is that Europe will start using much more of the liquid natural gas, LNG, from America, and that will cut back on the natural gas through the Friendship Pipeline in Ukraine, which Putin sees to take control, and he does control over 50% of natural gas in Europe, and that's why he also went into Syria, Iraq, to get the control of those natural resources that are required for industry and war. And this will also decrease the possibility of what's called the Nord Stream pipeline, which is a Putin industry through the Russian-controlled energy giant Gazprom. So he's countering Putin where it hurts in resources. Of course, don't expect to hear this in the pop culture media. They're just talking about stormy and ridiculous Mueller investigations. But in reality, Trump is making serious moves that Obama never made, and we should also be happy about that. This is Jeff Prather on the Chips and Salsa Show with this week's Prather Point. For more Prather, go to jeffreyprather.com, warriorschool.com, or BuddingConUSA.com.
We are back. That was Jeff Prather with the Prather Point, featured here every week. And, you know, you can also go to his Facebook site. And just a little background on him. We had him here, a few weeks ago. And Jeff Prather, you call him our secret agent man because he still has his pulse on the dark state. And if you follow him, he'll say stuff that's just kind of outrageous because he still has friends that work deep within there. And you think, nah, that's not going to happen. And more often than not, it does. It's kind of spooky. But I encourage you to follow him. Okay. I'm going to bring in now, so we have College Republicans United crew, and we have with us, we have Chase Smith, a member, and Kevin DeKuyper, a member also, a co-founder, and also Macy Wright is here. And now, over the phone, we're going to do this a little bit, you know, we're just doing this actually over my phone, but I think it's going to work. We're going to talk to Ian Logan, and he is their chairman up in Flagstaff. So, Ian Logan, welcome to the Chips and Salsa Show.
Hey, thank you for having me, Alice. I appreciate it.
Hey, you bet. Okay, is it nice and cool up there? Because we're hot down here.
Yeah, it is roasting. I've had a couple customers come up today, and they were telling me about how hot Phoenix is, and it's a luxury getting up here sometimes.
Wow. Okay, so Ian, tell us what you major in and why you're a part of this group.
So I originally majored in biomedical sciences. I swapped over to business. I wanted some more flexibility. I guess you could say that I came over from the Libertarian group at the beginning of the election. I met a couple members from the ASU Libertarians, the Young Americans for Liberty too, and they encouraged me to vote Libertarian. I ended up voting on Libertarian based on my principles, but it seems there's kind of a split from the Libertarian Party on both the right and the left sides, and I'm the split from the right, so that's where I come from.
So are you registered Republican now?
So I'm actually not registered quite yet, but I do plan on registering Republican for the upcoming elections.
Okay, good deal. And actually we had a little discussion about that because Chase was telling me he actually is still a registered Libertarian. So this group is a little flexible in allowing Libertarians. So what we're going to do is hope that you will register Republican because you can also, in the primary, you have a Libertarian primary as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you can't vote. You can't if
He's
you're
gotta
independent.
Choose a Libertarian.
Right. If
ballot.
you're Libertarian, you have to vote Libertarian.
That's what I was saying.
Unless they change it before the deadline. You said the deadline is.
Well, the 30th is the deadline to register. So, what you could do, because I'm going to hint at this for you, James, you could register as a Republican. That way, you could vote a Republican ballot in the primary.
Yeah, because it'll pop up, and if it pops up, they have to vote Libertarian.
And you know what? I think most of us Republicans, we have a streak of Libertarian is in us.
Yeah,
really
I noticed that recently. The Republican Party has been leaning a lot more Libertarian just on all principles. And, that's why I think the club works out.
Mm-hmm. Good. So are you guys going to kind of just keep it open that way so Libertarians can also be a part of it?
Kevin? Yeah, because if we don't talk about republicanism, they're not going to become Republicans. So we're bringing in as many libertarians or whoever we can because it's a ground game for Republican values. And the whole reason why we get so many libertarians is because we have a very constitutional outlook, and libertarians are all about liberty and constitutional values. So the Libertarian Party itself has been very split, and Republican Party is much more, it seems, principled in that matter. So that's our game.
Why didn't you just, instead of calling it the Republicans, why don't you just call it the Libertarians, the Conservative Libertarian Party?
Because it's all about the Constitution and about bringing people to be registered Republicans.
So the goal is to create more Republicans, what you're saying, and attract libertarians with the hope they'll become Republicans?
Absolutely, and because they have we have a libertarian streak in us as is, because we really do believe in the Constitution, and that's how we could bring them in.
I have a really good friend. He was Republican, diehard Republican, and he switched to Libertarian a year ago back, and he votes conservative, almost Republican, but he calls himself Libertarian. So it's the same thing. He's a Libertarian, and I always wondered about that. Are you guys going to try to vote down the Republican ticket most of the time, or it depends on who's running?
Well, I, for one, I think Donald Trump's the greatest thing to happen to politics in my lifetime, for sure. I'm very Republican, and we really want to spread that. All those messages is really important.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like the Senate, for the Senate.
Right.
Because the Senate is very important here in Arizona.
Absolutely.
Because we have to keep the 2 seats that are
I think he's saying that you are pushing Republicans.
Yes, it's all about Republican.
You have a little bit of a window to allow libertarians to be a part of your club.
Yes, and the reason is because libertarians feel disfranchised from the Republican Party, because what ends up happening is we get people like John McCain or whoever it is that don't really believe in a free market kind of society. It's about big government. So we want to be away from big government, but we also want to be Republican. And the Republican Party is really the red pill. We really want to tell people that the Republican Party is the way to go.
I wanted to ask Ian, because up there in Flagstaff, I know it's predominantly, it's not as conservative as down here in the southern part of the state. Ian, wouldn't you agree?
I would totally agree. Given that Flagstaff's only been on the national news for gender-neutral pronouns, I'd have to agree with you, Alice.
Absolutely. So do you think this part of the club will help you, because maybe you can find the libertarians up there and eventually convert them to Republicans as well?
Absolutely. And, I think that one thing that we like to mention is that having the libertarians fosters that discussion, right? Because that's what we're about. It's not necessarily having a stern, strict set of values. We do have some core principles we stick to and whatnot, but the acknowledgement is that, colleges and politics, are evolving. Both of those are evolving. The college is a platform, or one of many platforms. The politics is the process. Both of those are evolving. Having the libertarians coming in and seeing some things that are like-minded principles that we have, it promotes the discussion. It promotes the evolution. We're moving forward, but we're also adapting, right? And that's what we like to think is we're welcoming to all ears. We like to continue that forward progress, and that's what I liked about College Republicans United. Is we have an active objective, but we're also acknowledging of the fact that not everything's going to be the same for the future, and we want to adapt to overcome that and still hold on to those core conservative principles that we've always remained true to.
Well, I think that's an interesting concept. And George, just as you said, and I know even within our LD, we have a new precinct committeeman, and this gentleman, he became I'm trying to remember, I think he became a libertarian, but then he figured out it was very difficult to get anything done because it's such a small minority, and so he's back in the Republican Party and right. Doing that. So I can understand that, and I think a lot of Republicans in their heart, they might be stronger libertarians, but right. The Republican Party, at least you have more of a voice. You have the Democrat Party and the Republican Party.
So it's something like the independents.
Well, independents have no party. They really don't have a party.
But they tend to vote. A lot of them will vote Republican.
Some will, but some are Democrat, and some don't even vote. Some I mean, really, if you're an independent, and I started out as an independent, believe it or not, because I didn't know what I was. I really didn't, and I voted for the first time. I voted for an independent candidate, but
Ross Perot?
No. Oh, I wish I was that young. That'd be awesome. I wish that was young. Actually, I think Ross Perot was a Republican, or did he finally run as an independent? I think he ran on the Republican ticket. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Do you want to stay with us, Ian, as we go into the other segment? Are you okay?
Absolutely. No, I'd be more than happy. And just a final note on the Libertarian Party. The reason why I hopped over mainly was because there was a lot of, great respect to those people. God bless them. There's a lot of great libertarians out there, but it seemed that the problem as a whole is that people were too involved in semantics rather than a final objective. Really it was more of an individualized kind of party where it wasn't really a whole unit. There was a foundational mindset and whatnot, but everyone seemed to have their different take on it. Semantics turned to mudslinging, and I feel like having this open, accepting Republican aspect is not only helpful to libertarians but to the conservative culture as a whole. So that's the reason why I tagged along.
Interesting concept, and I wish you guys luck on that. Okay, well, our show is getting, man, I can't believe we're getting towards the end. I have to ask you guys, I was watching Tucker Carlson, and he had this wonderful, great guest on who was talking about student loan debt. We're like at $1.5 trillion, and I had to ask you guys about that. One of the horrible, revealing things that she said is, if you have student loan debt, you have to pay that off. Even if you go bankrupt in the future, you must pay that off. You will never get rid of this average of $30,000 when you leave college. However, if you are an offspring of a congressperson, guess what? You're exempt from that, which I was really pissed about. But that happened evidently in 1995 under President Clinton, Democrat president, and the Congress was Democrat at that point. Doesn't excuse my Republicans for not getting rid of that, but what do you think about that and the student loan debt? You're not going to have any, right, when you graduate? You don't have any right now, right?
No.
Awesome. You have none?
No student loan debt.
Oh, man. Thank you so much. That's great. But what are your thoughts about that?
I think it's a lot like the housing market. We're told everyone needs a house. And suddenly financing is at 10% down or lower, and people are buying houses they really can't afford. People are buying college tuitions they can't afford. And there's all these different financing that makes it really easy to get into college. It brings up the cost for everyone else. And then suddenly you have all these different scholarships and means to socialize education. So no wonder why the past 18 or so years it's been tuition rates have been raising.
But some of people, they take the loan and they use the loan for different things. They use some of it for school, for some of it for books, but the large portion, they'll go on a vacation,
party,
they'll buy this or they'll party, because I've heard people do that. And so then they just put it towards their loan. The next year they do the same thing. It's a scam that they have.
Absolutely.
And then they complain about it when it's due. But I heard that if you become a teacher or something in public service, you don't have to pay some of that.
That's another, they can forgive some of it. And what I want to ask about that is, do you think, here's my conspiracy hat on there, they started this because that makes you depend on the government, because now the government controls all those loans. The banks don't give student loans, the government does. Am I crazy here? What do you think?
I was always upset about that. I think it made a lot more sense when the banks were giving out loans, because they are the private enterprise that provides that service. The government has never done anything efficiently, and there's no reason for them to be, coming. They just come in and call the market theirs and push everyone out because they have that power. As far as student loans, though, I mean, I'm not graduating with any debt.
What's your major?
So I'm doing computer science. I went to college for, the STEM field, the stuff that I consider, why you go to college, because, you either have your vocational stuff that you would do after high school, or, you go into the hard sciences. And, I found internships, I can make money, and I can pay my own school.
And
finance.
Finance.
Yes. So, of course, he's not going to be in debt.
Pay attention, they told you earlier.
Uh-oh.
All right. I'm a little different story. I'm about $22,000 in debt right now.
That's terrifying.
That's good. We need your story. I'm glad you're here.
You know what? I'm not really terrified so much because I know that the career I'm choosing will obviously pay it off a little faster than most people.
You gonna be a teacher?
Remember, she's medical. Oh no, my parents are both educators. They're like, get out, get out, get out. Don't do that.
You're the health field, medical.
Yes, exactly. So I'm not as worried. It's just going to take a lot more schooling, but I know if I follow through, there's going to be a big payoff. But what I think about the government kind of exempting people, honestly, that's kind of a slap in the face for the hardworking Americans here. So my father, who had to pay for his whole schooling, had to go through military, had to pay it through that way, honestly, taking his money away just so that people can be exempt from something is just, it's completely insulting, honestly. It's really insulting to me and my family that they have to work for people that just don't want to work for it. So
you're right, Macy.
I think it's
stealing.
It's incredibly inexcusable, and I don't find that very fair. And I know there's a lot of people that need that money to get through. Honestly, I have friends, and I also have a boyfriend that also gets scholarships and everything, but I tell him, like, appreciate it because I'm paying for it, like, every time.
But you'd be surprised to see how many people are abusing the system.
Yes.
And there's a lot.
Yes.
It's a free ride. They get to go to school, and they're using part of that money for something else, not what it intended. They intended that whole loan to, for your housing, for your food, they're using it for other stuff, because I've seen cases like that, and it's a lot. It's not only one; it's a lot of people, and they're even telling kids in these online schools, we'll give you a $5,000 loan, and it's like, and I've heard
they're
people
pushing
say,
it.
I
think they want the kids to be in debt. Do you want me to tell you this is how long ago I went to school? Tuition for one semester when I went to school, it's 1976, was my first semester, was, I believe it was $276 or $275 for one semester. And books were $100, which I thought, books, that's expensive. So I saved up my babysitting money before I went through high school and had $1,000. That way I knew I had 2 years already of tuition. But the cost is so crazy, has gone up. You guys can't do it. Okay, Ian, before we let you go, any thoughts about that?
Say that one more time.
Yeah, we're still here. About the student loans. Any thoughts about that?
In my case, I don't really have student loans. I was offered some different options for out-of-state colleges, but those seem to be much too expensive for me. Those would have put me in that position. Currently, I have my own full-time job, so I'm trying to work towards that and paying off my debt. Thanks, Andrew. And that's my situation that I'm in. I do think there are some cases where my friends have gone to schools that are more than qualified, and I'm not exactly I'm not exactly keen on that myself. But I've heard some interesting stories about how much they're charged for out-of-state and even in-state tuition. So.
Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, got about 5 minutes of the show left. Is that what Julian's telling me? Okay. Where are you going? Okay. Ian, I'm going to say goodbye to you because we're going to start signing off here. Thank you so much. Maybe when you're in town next time, come down and do the show with us, okay?
Hey, absolutely. It was a blast for having me. Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much. And if you're up in Flagstaff, contact him, and that's College Republicans United. So find you on Facebook, I guess, right?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thanks so much. You have a good day now. Take care.
Most definitely. Bye now.
Okay, bye. All right, so let's see. Are we going to have time to do the cocotazos? What do you think, George?
I don't think so.
We may not. Okay, because I do want to talk to you guys about socialism. We see all these videos now, and they're talking to kids your age and young people your age, and they're like, yeah, socialism, man. That's awesome. That's great. What the heck's going on out there, guys?
A lot of people don't even know what socialism is. Frankly, a lot of people don't. So I have a few friends that are pro-socialism, and I go, what is it? And they're just like, it's a way for people to have a great living. I'm like, what is it? And so a lot of people don't really understand they hear the word free.
Free.
That is honestly the big word. Once they hear free, I'm like, nothing's really free.
Free school, free health, free this, free that, everything free.
Except George is going to pay for
The
it.
government is going to take care of you.
Yeah, like every person is exactly perfect and going to make sure that everybody gets exactly what they deserve and need. No, that's not possible at all. And a lot of people don't know it, but the way I can describe it is redistribution of wealth. But socialism is on a governmental level instead of like one person, like communism. So a lot of people don't understand that, and when they think free, they don't know where the money's going to come from. They don't know how they're going to get it, and so that's why I also have problems with like universal health care. That type of social program is honestly a huge failure in Canada. A lot of people actually come down to America to get medical care because it is such a failed system. And a lot of people don't know this information, but they think, oh, well, other countries have it that are first world. If they have it, it must be great. Not really.
Then go live there.
I know, exactly.
Move to that country and do that. Okay, I don't want us to finish the show without telling our audience how to get a hold of you guys. If you have email, phone number, website, everything, whatever, go.
Oh yeah, well you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and we have meetings every Wednesday now at 6:30. So once ASU school starts, you'll be seeing meetings.
Do you know where you have them? Do you have a location?
Oh, of course. So it's the business school, BAC 320. I'm not sure.
Maybe we'll wait outside.
There's a parking lot right across from there. Yeah. Well, keep us posted, and then we can share that on our Facebook site. We'd be happy to do that, or we can announce it. If you'll send me an email, like give me a reminder the week before.
Absolutely.
And we can announce it. Maybe George and I can hit one of those meetings.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the crew Facebook would be the easiest place to find information because everything's there. So.
And Republicans and Libertarians are welcome. Mm-hmm. Okay. There's no age restriction or anything like that. Sorry, my phone.
Really? Is there any restrictions at all?
No, it's public. I mean, we could kick people out, but yeah, it's public.
If people want to argue, we're okay with it. I mean,
okay, cool. All right.
George wants to do a
little commercial here.
The segment's brought to you by One Truth. They're a progressive rock group from Virginia. You can go to iTunes on One Truth with J.C. Gonzalez. The songs Inferno is the one I like, and Ocean of Dreams, Crimson Sky, and many more. So go to iTunes, look up One Truth with J.C. Gonzalez, and give them some love. Download the CD if you want, and that helps us out, and that helps JC and One Truth.
Yes, and we appreciate it. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right. Rick just texted me real quick. It's BAC323 is the room, and you can email asu.college.republicansunited@gmail.com. I want to thank you guys for coming in very much. Thank you, Kevin, Chase, Macy, and Ian for being on the phone. And please be with us again next Saturday here for the Chips and Salsa show on Center Right Radio. And we're sorry, I don't know if we even got it up on our Chips and Salsa site, but we'll get it up there. We're going to take pictures and all that. So please come back and visit again, okay? All right, everybody? Great.
Sounds fun.
Do we forget anything, George?
No, I put it on the site. So it is
you did?
Chips
Thank you. Okay, because I didn't put it. Way to go. All right, have a wonderful weekend and try to stay cool because it's like 115 degrees out there. Thank you, Julian. Appreciate all you do. Have a wonderful weekend. You guys take care. And guacan, Alice Lara, and Jorge signing off.
Don Jorge.
The fire claims more lives. I'm Roger Stern, Fox News. Relatives now say the 2 children and their great-grandmother were killed in that wildfire tearing through Shasta County in Northern California. That's in addition to 2 other deaths, a firefighter and a bulldozer operator. Meanwhile, Tom Vacar of Fox affiliate KTVU says the going is tough for firefighters.
We haven't heard any aircraft because it's just probably